Greetings, brothers, sisters, beings of all genders. I greet you, and I ask that we first acknowledge the indigenous peoples whose lands we are occupying. Before those of us who are not of indigenous heritage came to the lands we now live on, our indigenous relatives had made covenants with all the sacred beings who lived in these places. I like to say that if a land is beautiful, it is because of the covenants made by the indigenous peoples with the lands, the waters, the rocks, the trees, the animals peoples. I live in Huchin, the unceded homeland of the Chochenyo-speaking Lisjan Ohlone peoples, also known as Oakland, California. This land was home to a multitude of our other than human relatives, including the tule plants, willows and oak trees, the geese, deer, trout, salmon and shellfish nations, the wandering stars, and the spirits of the mountains, rivers, and streams. The lives of all these beings were sacred, and in Ohlone thought, we humans did not own the land, but belonged to it. In the spirit of generosity and loving kindness, and in accord with the second precept of not taking what is not given, let us begin by affirming the rights of indigenous people to their lands, their lifeways, and their languages. Whether you know the names of the indigenous people whose land you are occupying and the other than human relatives that live there, I ask that you place a hand over your heart. Take a breath. Remember the beauty of the land you are on, then and now. Remember the tending of these lands by the indigenous inhabitants that preceded you. May all indigenous peoples everywhere be seen and recognized in the way that they wish. May their descendants flourish, and their rights to their lands and waters be respected and honored. And may all beings gather together under the tree of peace. My name is Arisika Razak, and I am a 75-year elder. I'm a woman of African American descent. My father was an undocumented immigrant. I'm a teacher, a healer, a midwife of 20 plus years duration, a college professor, and now I'm a meditation teacher at the East Bay Meditation Center in the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone peoples' unceded and traditional territories. I wanted to begin with honoring our indigenous kin, and make no mistake about it, all of us, no matter where we were born or now live, we're all descendants of indigenous people who loved the earth and who honored spirit. We are descendants of indigenous people who respected women and honored our queer, two-spirit, and gender-diverse kin. We are descendants of those who supported the ill, the disabled, and the elderly, and accorded them places of honor and leadership. And, make no mistake, we are the descendants of those who time out of time made kin and family of the stranger. And we are descendants of those who recognized we are one great family born of this earth. As Joy Harjo, our first Indigenous poet laureate, writes, "Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. And as we hear this, think about what it means in your heart. What would it mean to make kin of the animal life and the plant life around us? I want to encourage you sometimes to place your hand on a tree, lean your forehead against its bark, and mindfully breathe in the oxygen that is the gift of the plant people to us humans. Breathe out your carbon dioxide that helps them live. We are involved in a great web of life. We are not the leaders or the head of it. Take your place in the great circle of reciprocity. Most of us know that the Buddha proposed a middle way between the path of asceticism, denial of the body and its needs, and indiscriminate indulgence of the body and the senses, that is, gluttony, sexual excess, indiscriminate use of drugs, etc. And I would add to that indulgence of the senses means using people as slaves to gratify you. These are things that need to be consigned to the dustbin of history. The Buddha taught mindfulness by beginning with mindfulness of the body, of the breath moving through the body, and of the sense doorways. He advised his followers to meditate on the sensations arising in the body and through the doors of the senses. Today, I speak to you in all the identities I mentioned: mother, grandmother, spiritual teacher, healer. And I want to speak to you of an even older truth, one that I learned sitting by the bedside of laboring women from over 70 countries for over 2 decades. Today, I want to speak about a truth that I learned receiving the life that came through bodies that were suffering and in pain. I want to speak a truth learned as I watched life move from one side of the veil to the others. We are all embodiments of the sacred. If we are here in the flesh, if we have taken birth, no matter how we got here, no matter what the circumstances of our birth, whether we were wanted or unwanted, whether we were conceived and born in times of grief or war, in times of joy and celebration, we are all embodiments of the sacred. Our bodies are sacred, and our fleshly embodiment can be seen as the foundation for our spiritual lives. Let me repeat. Our bodies are sacred. Our mortal, impermanent, imperfect bodies, which are subject to illness, change, aging, and death, are sacred. Our bodies, with all their changing abilities and disabilities, are sacred. Our bodies that ache and bleed, lose teeth and hearing, our bodies that suffer illness and pain, are sacred. Our bodies that crawl and walk and run and wheel and are carried are sacred. Our bodies in all their physical diversities, ethnicities, colors, and shapes, our bodies that are the gift of the ancestors, regardless of their ability to meet cultural norms and standards, our bodies, just as they are sacred. Put your hand over your heart and over your belly. Feel first, perhaps, the texture of your clothing, and feel, ever so gently, the softness of your body beneath it. Repeat after you breathe in, breathe out. Repeat to yourself, my body is sacred. My body, just as it is sacred. Breathe in, breathe out. And just now imagine someone who has a very different kind of body. Could be someone you know, close to you, someone you see at a distance. See that body in your mind's eye, your spirit's eye. And just repeat. Your body is sacred. Your body, just as it is sacred. And now, imagine someone who has been othered by society and who is different than you. It may be someone who lives in a disabled body-mind. For when I speak of the body, I speak of the body-mind-heart. But we're starting with the body. So just think of someone who is othered, marginalized by the dominant culture. It may be someone who lives in a body of color or in a body of the global majority. Maybe someone who lives in a disabled body or in a body that differs from you by gender identity or by sexual orientation or sexual identity. Breathe in, breathe out. See this person and say, your body is sacred. Your body, just as it is sacred. Your body, in its perfect imperfection, in all its glories, in all its fallibilities, your body, just as it is sacred. And just notice what you feel in your heart as you see this. Our first task as we make community, as we join with others, is to recognize first our own sacred embodiment, and then the sacred embodiment of all that lives and breathes and walks and crawls. All that we have been told is difficult. Yes, it may be very easy to love the winged hawk, but can we love the vulture? Can we love the spiders that many of us have been taught to fear? Can we love and see as beautiful and holy the mosquitoes that bite us, even as we bite others in order to live? Take a breath. Take another. And just feel for a moment the breath moving into your precious body, mind, heart. I want to affirm it's not always easy to live in the West as a sacred being, to honor our embodiments. As a dark-skinned Black woman, I know all too well that we live in a world in which we are made to feel our body's otherness, lack of belonging. Every day, in every way, we are judged by the color of our skin or the ethnicity that it's assumed to represent, by the shape and size of our bodies, by our visible abilities or disabilities, by our youth or aging, by our perceived sex or our intersex presentation, by our ability or inability to present as adhering to diverse, socially constructed gender norms, and by our ability or inability to embody a particular set of socially constructed abilities, traits, or roles. It's so important to remember that our quest to find and embody our authentic self, to claim our wholeness, to claim who we are every day out loud in the world is a spiritual journey. How we meet dominant culture expectations and demands that we shoe ourselves into a straitjacket, a one size fits all that fits no one, is an earthly test of our spirit's purpose as it was poured into these fleshly containers. How we claim, embody, and remember, bring together what is real and good and true about ourselves, in spite of dominant culture claims and restrictions, is a reflection of our ability to apply the wisdom teachings and the teachings of our teachers that come out of every culture. If, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, the next Buddha may very well be the Sangha, then our coming together in community with those like us and those different from us is also part of our spiritual journey. We live in a global and pluralistic world, and as spiritual people, it is necessary to be accepting and educated about the great diversity of identities around us. It's not enough simply to know that we are all sacred. It's not enough to know that our spirits really are made from one unified matter of being, one tapestry that is not flesh. It's also absolutely necessary to recognize and honor the diversities of culture, of flesh, of body, mind, spirit, ability, and diversity to honor neurodiversity. It's really important to honor our differences and our sameness. If we are going to come together in Sangha, for example, we need to come together as whole Sanghas, and for those of us marginalized and traumatized by dominant cultural norms which are present even in our Sanghas, it's important to come together in affinity Sanghas as disabled people, queer people, women or female identified people. It's important to honor our differences and our sameness. We are here on this earth walk to heal ourselves and to heal each other. Our choices, our orientations, and our body, minds, hearts, in all their abilities, disabilities, and diversities, are sacred reflections of spirit, of how spirit poured herself into flesh. We are here on this earth walk to heal ourselves and to heal each other. Our innate wholeness and our spiritual journey in these bodies is a measure of our spiritual enlightenment. How we treat the different, how we treat what we do not understand, is a measure of our ability to apply spiritual teaching to our earth walk. We are here to shine our light and reflect the power of our being. We are here to give and receive love, to study and share wisdom, to embrace the radiance of spirit poured into earthly vessels. If you are hearing my words and identify as a woman, in quotes, it's important to know that to be a woman or to be femme-identified means many things. We can no longer define our identities as women by the possessions of particular and exclusive chromosomes, body parts, or even by one's ability to perform the roles accorded by our culture. to that identity as woman. There is just too much diversity, and the lack of particular abilities or organs does not define our identity as woman. The combinations of chromosomes that are different, unusual, are part of what it is to be embodied as human, to be male, female, or intersex. All those are part of what it is to be human. The sacredness of our identities, whether we are cisgendered women, transgender women, gender non-binary or gender expansive, femme-identified, female, masculine, of center, intersex, etc., are inherently sacred. They are sacred in our taking birth and in our chosen identities. And the diversity included in the definition of femininity, i.e., the traits and attributes culturally assigned to persons identified in the culture as female, vary culturally and personally. Same gender loving people, gender expansive, and trans people are not a new phenomenon. They are as old as our humanity. What brings us joy in the body is part of the spiritual journey. What brings us to truth in our body, heart, mind is part of the spiritual journey. And what is difficult and challenging in the body is part and parcel of the spiritual journey. How we love ourselves in spite of negative, personal, cultural, and other oppressions is part of our spiritual journey. And how we come together with this hard-won wisdom, the truth of our bodies, the truth of our sacredness, and by extension, the extending of that truth and that sacredness and that respect and that tenderness. That is part of our truth and our spiritual journey. That is part of what will make the Sangha of the future. And may it be so, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, that the next Buddha is the Sangha of all the bodies and all the beings on this planet Earth. Maybe this is the truth that we took birth to be part of the journey, where all beings, all bodies come to enlightenment, liberation, and peace. Take a moment and a breath. We're going to practice together. But I just want to begin by just noticing the breath moving in the body. You might want to feel as your hand is on your chest. You might want to feel the movement of breath within the body. You might want to feel, if you place your hands over the belly, the movement of breath in the belly, the rise and fall of the belly. And as you breathe in, feel some love for the belly. This is not a belly-loving culture. You just send a little love to this belly. A great miracle and transformation happens in the belly. Food is transformed to energy that feeds and fuels our ability to move and think and be and feel. Blessed be the belly. Take what for you is your meditation posture. It can be on the chair or the cushion. And I invite you to first notice the part of you that is closest to the floor. It can be your feet. It can be the sits bones resting on a chair or cushion. If it's accessible, I invite you to shake your hands and just feel the wrist, the motion, the blood moving through your hands. If this is not accessible, imagine that your hands are shaking or moving. Feel, if you can, or imagine the blood moving into your hands, into the capillaries and veins, through the arteries. Feel the miracle of your hands. Whether they are able-bodied or disabled, your hands are a blessing. I invite you to bring them together and to rub them. You might feel some heat rising. And again, if this is not accessible to you, let there be any motion of the hands that is possible. And if no motion is possible, just feel them, sense them. For those who have rubbed your hands together, feel the warmth or heat. Feel the coolness. Feel whatever sensation is arising. If your hands are stable and not moving, feel into the hands, sense into the hands. Bring your mind's eye, your heart's eye into your hands. Again, regardless of what they can or cannot do, regardless of their knobbiness, their bentness, their pain, their ease, their smoothness, they are a miracle. And if you don't have hands at the ends of your arms, because some of us do not, just imagine the ends of your arms, which may be how you bring things to you, or imagine your feet, which serve you as hands. When I say hands that reach and sense and touch, some of us use other parts of our bodies to do those things. Some of us use other parts that may be derived from what is made to reach, touch, grasp. Hold in your hearts all the diversity of body and hands and reaching and grasping parts. Blessed be the body that loses parts, keeps parts. Blessed be the body that compensates for the losses. Blessed be the body in all its diversity and all the ways that human communities assist and change and support us in our ability to move and reach and grasp and touch, that is embodied and used as metaphor in the ability to have hands. Blessed be our hands. Blessed be the way we compensate for not having hands. Let's take a guided journey. So again, relax. Take a breath in and let it out. Your eyes can be closed or slightly open, 6 inches in front of you with a soft gaze. Your focus of meditation can be the breath, or it can be the rise and fall of ambient sound, the sounds of voices in another room, the soft hum of the computer, the occasional sound of cars, sirens, all of that. Take a sense anchor, the breath, the weight of the hands on the lap, the feet on the floor, the soft gaze, or the rise and fall of sound. Let's rock back and forth just a little bit, rocking on the pelvis. If you're lying down, just feel the soft bones, the long bones of the body melting into the chair, the bed, the sofa. Breathe in and bring one hand to the belly and one to the heart. Take a breath and feel the air coming into the lungs. This is the first nourishment you took from planet Earth when you emerged from your mother's body. This breath has circulated through the lungs of your father and mother, your birth givers, your birth makers. It has circulated through the bodies and hearts and lungs of your ancestors. It has circulated through the bodies and hearts and lungs of the trees, the plant peoples, the animals. Breathe it in. It has circulated and risen as clouds, fallen down as water vapor, made streams and oceans, been drunk in our bodies, breathed out as air and moisture. Take a moment and thank the air for the gift of life. Thank the water for the gift of life. Thank the earth for the gift of life. And thank the fire in our minds and nerve endings that spark thought, knowledge, wisdom. Thank the fire. And the fire of the sun and the fire at the heart of the earth that give us life. Bring now your hand down to the belly and let it rest so that some part of hands or fingers or mind's eye rest over the navel. The navel. This is the place that your umbilical cord connected to your mother or your birth giver or the birth person, the caregiver. This umbilical cord connected that birth giver and birth carrier to the umbilical cord of their birth giver, birth mother, birth carrier, and so on and so on and so on. And let's imagine that we're going to follow our psychic umbilical cord back and back and back through generation after generation after generation of birth givers, birth carriers, birth holders. And let this umbilical cord take you back and back and back and back and back to the indigenous people, some group of one of the many indigenous people in your birth line who were indigenous to the lands they lived on. This is a time before patriarchy. This is a time before war. This is a time when all your peoples lived in harmony. This is a time when women were revered as leaders, when those who were differently able, perhaps blind, were seen to see with the spirit eyes. This is a time when the two spirit, those who the West names transgender, those who chose roles, were spiritually directed to roles that were not in alignment with the appearance of their bodies, were seen and honored for their particular gifts, were offered leadership in negotiations, politics, peacemaking. For yes, even if we didn't have war, we still needed to make peace. We still had differences. But see yourself in a group of people that may or may not look like you, but who are at a great gathering. The people are gathered. The musicians and healers and clan mothers and fathers and leaders and other gendered folks are all there. They are gathered on the earth. They are gathered by moonlight or sunlight or starlight. They are gathered by fires. They are gathered with food and feasting and ceremony. And they are making way for you. They know that you are their many, 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 many times spiritual descendant. They know that you are their wildest hopes and dreams. They know that their wisdom has been given to you, and you are carrying them into a future that they could not see or even dream about. See yourself carrying the medicine of your life experience, carrying the medicine of your particular body in all its abilities and disabilities. See yourself walking in all your chosen and spiritually gifted identities, walking in a path of honor, walking into this gathering. And there is a seat beside a particular elder. That elder may be inhuman, may be the embodiment of plant or animal, rock, mineral, mountain, stream, but you're seated beside them. Make a gesture of acknowledgement. It may be a bow. It may be palms together, hands open, but make a gesture. Acknowledging the sacredness of this being in their embodiment, in all their abilities and disabilities, in their shape and form. See them as they are. See them as they wish to be seen. And make a gesture of acknowledgement. Breathe in, breathe out. This person, this being, is speaking to the gathering. This being is sharing a story, a word, a vision. This being has something that they wish to pass on, not only to the gathering, but specifically to you. Open the ears of your spirit. Open the ears of your heart. Open the ears of your embodiment. There is a gift, a gesture, a mantra, a word, a song, a charge, a whispered word of encouragement, sustenance. There is something that this being is speaking that resonates with your heart, with your embodiment, with your time. Hear them. Open your hands and your hearts and receive something that you can take back. It may be an object, a word, a song, a piece of cloth, a color, a movement, a sound. Open your hands, open your heart, and receive what this being is offering to you. Take it, and take it to your forehead, your third eye. Take it to your mouth and throat. Take it to your heart and your belly. And let this word, mantra, feeling, object pour into your heart, your embodiment, your mind, and your spirit. Bow to the gathering. You cannot stay long, but you see them in their diversity. You see what it is like to sit in a circle of peace and harmony. You see what it is like to sit in a circle that has the elemental powers, the human embodiments, the forms of earth, air, fire, water, animal, plant, the four-legged, the two-legged, the winged ones, the creepy crawly, those that swim and fly. You see what it is like to sit in the circle of all that is, all that was, and all that shall be. Take it in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take it in. Bow to this circle. Let the ancestor and elder that you sat next to you know that you will remember their gift, that you will cherish it and share it with your peoples. Bow to the gathering and feel the tug at your umbilical cord. Feel the tug at the field of your umbilicus, the tug that led from that ancestor's descendant to their descendant and their descendant and their descendant, and feel the tug of your birth mother, birth giver, birth carrier, calling you back and back and back, calling you back and back and back through your descendants on another continent, back and back and back through peoples who crossed the great waters, back and back and back, being carried in the bodies of those who trekked over land masses, back and back and back, being carried in the bodies of those who willingly or unwillingly came to a new land. Feel yourself. Pause and offer a word or blessing to an ancestor who suffered. Feel yourself passing on what was passed on to you. Feel yourself encouraging someone in hiding. Feel yourself speaking to the enslaved who are running away. Feel yourself whispering a word to those on the trail of tears. Feel yourself whispering a word to those enduring the pogrom, those who are jumping off a train that is carrying them to a death camp. Feel yourself whispering a word. Peace, healing, endurance, sustenance, the ability to run faster, hide better. Thank this ancestor who also was a birth carrier, a birth giver, a womb holder. Feel yourself connected to this being and feel the womb calling, feel the call of the womb of the universe. Feel the call of the great, great source of all being, all life, calling you to this incarnation. Feel your embodiment as spirit in the universal source of all. The great mother, the great father, the great non-gendered, all-gendered source of life and creation. Feel yourself called to the womb of creation and feel yourself journeying back and back and back to the womb of the birth giver, the birth carrier, the birth person in whom this incarnation as a child rested. And feel your spirit anchored in the womb of creation, and feel the descent of spirit into the fleshly vessel that will give you birth. your hand to your belly and cradle the being that you once were. See yourself as you were newborn. See the fingers and toes. Feel the shape of the body, the color of your skin, the curl and kink of your hair. See the shape of your eyes, your nose and nostrils. See the shape of your mouth. See the disabilities that you were born with. See the dual nature if you are intersex. Feel into the body that is you. Know that in this earthly body, you will know suffering, othering, and you will know belonging and joy. Know that you will move past the obstacles put in front of you by society. That you will move past the obstacles and challenges of being in human form, a form that may be disdained by some and loved by others. Feel and see the body that you are in, perfect just as it is. Feel and see this body that is carrying divine purpose, and that divine purpose is always connected to the soul wound, and that soul wound is always connected to your embodiment. And know, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are their hopes. You are their vision of a better tomorrow. You are the whispered word, mantra, object, healing that was gifted to you by your primal ancestors in a circle that included the living, the dead, those yet to be born, the elemental powers, the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged ones, the creepy crawlies, those who swim and fish, the four-leggeds, and the humans. You have a charge. You have something to deliver to the people. You have a way that you will join with others. You have a way that you will make kin of the stranger and those who are other. You have a way that you will open your heart to the diversity of those around you. You have a way. It is yours. It is sacred. It is your charge. Breathe in. Breathe out. And as we come to the end of this guided meditation, wriggle your fingers and toes. Feel the body, heart, mind that you are in. What is it that you plan to do to make kin of the stranger? What is it that you plan to do to embody your own sacredness and to recognize and honor the sacredness of others? How will you reach across ethnic lines, geographic lines, gender lines, the lines that we make between those of diverse sexual orientations, young and old, able-bodied and disabled, and your gift to move in your own time and your own way. Our bodies, our embodiments are sacred, and we are here to make kin with those who are like us and those not like us. May all beings be held in the embrace of spirit. May all beings in all times and all spaces be seen, honored, and cherished. May all beings, in all times and all spaces, those born and yet to be born, those living now, be liberated, at peace, and know their indwelling.